I was doing filming in 5 hours out of Moscow when I get a phone call and he says, I'm playing tomorrow. So this is the first day of the season, right? I'm playing. So Sven's put him in the team. So I'm making my way back. I mean,
What team was this at the time?
Man City.
Right.
So I'm making my way. I'm honestly, I'm not lying. I'm risking my life. I'm driving with the oldest driver I've ever had, 5 hours on a very, very bad road between Yaroslav and Moscow to get to the airport. Right. Along the way, we get undertaken by cars, but they're not driving on the asphalt. They're driving, on like a hard shoulder of stuff. I mean, he was just so bad. And once we got to Moscow, he was old. He was so tired, and there was a bit of traffic, and he accidentally hit the car in front of him. The guy went
Whiplash.
out.
Yes.
I'm not lying. The guy was so angry, went out of his car, and the driver, he locked his door and, rolling down the windows. And the guy pulled this old guy through the window. I'm not lying. And I'm sat in the back seat.
Oh, no.
I've just survived 5 hours on the road, right?
No,
and I'm happy. I'm sat there in the car. So at some point, I'm thinking, if I die, at least I'm dying trying to get to see my son play.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I accepted my fate. And anyway, I got to the airport, flew to London. They're playing West Ham. I get to West Ham about half an hour before kickoff. And I never really had time to ponder this, My boy is going to play a Premier League match. I never really thought about that, And, I'm a bit stressed for all of that, And then they're coming out. And I see these grown-up people coming out. They're about to play this game, Man City or West Ham versus Man City. And there's this small boy wearing gloves. And I'm looking at me, he's just a child.
I know.
He's just a child.
Christ.
Your child.
Yours as well.
You can't put him in there, I'm like this. And honestly, I'm so nervous. I'm like, And then within the first sort of 10 minutes, he's come for one cross, he's had 2 saves, and I'm like,
he's okay.
it's all right.
Yeah.
And I relaxed. And I decided, this is my decision, I decided to be relaxed about it. I cannot, I mean...
Do you enjoy watching him? Could you enjoy watching him play?
I worked myself into a place where I was able to enjoy it. I worked myself in, but it took a lot of persuasion to myself. I had to say, I had to really work with myself because you have that emotional attachment. And because you've been in that situation, because you know what he's seeing, you know what he's facing, and you sat there and you can't do anything about it. You just have to be a spectator. You just have to be there. Then it was a difficult period for me to. And then he only played 7 games. He conceded in 2 games. He had 5 clean sheets. Clean sheet against Man United, and for all of a sudden, without any warning whatsoever, he was out of the team again.
Wow.
So that period after that was really, really difficult. And again, going back to the agreement that we had, I wasn't coming in with suggestions about anything. I was encouraging.
Did you feel like he wanted to, though?
But he was coming to me for, so we did have, talks, and I remember I'm playing a par 3 tournament in Coventry. I've said to you to come and play that because it's brilliant. Playing, and he phones me up and he said, I've just had a phone call of Sven. And we're now a couple of years down. He's not really played, and Mark Hughes is the manager, and he's gone from number 2 to number 3, and it kind of meant, it's uphill.
Yeah.
Man City won't let him go. Coventry, he was at loan. He took all the loan deals he could get. Coventry, Cookie was the manager. He was desperate to get him, and it was dragging on and on. Man City asked for 2 months, and it wasn't happening.
Right.
He goes, I've just had a phone call from Sven. I know this is going to sound stupid, but he's at Notts County. They have this project, and he says it's a really good project. And he desperately wants me. I'm the first person he's phoning up since he's got the job. And I'm in Coventry. I'm thinking, okay, do you want me to go over and have a chat with Sven? And he says, yeah. So I went to speak to Sven and the guy who had the project. And Sven loves Casper. He's always wanted Casper. So I'm listening to what they're saying, and this sounds like a really, really good project. I phoned Casper up, said, listen, I think, have a conversation, see what you think. But you got to drop down to League Two. And he says, I feel I need to restart my career. I need to do this.
Wow.
So he ended up going to Notts County, and the whole project, of course, it wasn't there. There's no money in that. It was just, and Sven left. Sven left after.
That's when Sol Campbell went there, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But they won League Two. So that kind of was the beginning of establishing himself as a really good goalkeeper, a solid goalkeeper. He went to Leeds. I'm not saying, I won't say anything. Pete, be quiet. Not great.
Right.
Absolutely not great.
Right.
And then...
Was you worried around that? When it wasn't great?
I was very, very...
Really, but yeah?
Yeah,
Did you want? Did he need his dad there, or did you need to do something?
Let me put it this way: of course, I'm going to go there for his first game. The Man United Leeds can't be in the crowd.
Yeah.
So I'm asking to be in the director's box. Ken Bates is the chairman.
Yeah.
They put me in the crowd. I'm fuming, absolutely fuming, and then the crowd start to sing to Casper that you are right, but your dad is,
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, this is not right. This is not right for him. I get summoned by Ken Bates after the game, and I didn't want to go. I'm with Casper's agent, and he said, just go and see, and then maybe you'll be treated. I'm fuming because of where I'm sat. I've had abuse for 2 hours, right? Jesus. Absolute abuse for 2 hours. I'm watching my son play his first game for a new club. So I get summoned. Summoned, Okay, I then say, okay, I'll go. And I get a football lesson of Ken Bates. He's telling me how to play football. I'm like,
honest to God.
My God. So I never went. After that, never went again. And I was happy when he left. And again, it was Sven taking over Leicester.
We're all pundits. So right, the fact that you've had that full journey with Sean, he's not playing anymore. You've seen probably other people talking about him as well on TV. Does that make you change? Obviously with Bradley as well. Do you think about that with your own punditry when you're speaking about basically someone's child?
Yeah, because I will always try and just be very, very. I'm never overcritical. I'll be very positively critical of what I've seen. I remember because when I was playing, I used to feel like I got a lot of negative criticism, which doesn't help. The positive criticism, you say, oh, okay, I need to work on that, I need to do. But the negative criticism makes it just twist your stomach and stuff. And so I always try to, as a pundit, just to be very, very clear with what they've done and why that was wrong to do that.
And that comes from the fact that you've had your son playing.
Absolutely. And the thing with Sean, I remember doing Sean for England. We were doing Sean for England. He was playing for England, and he was when I was doing a punditry with ITV. And I remember it wasn't a great game he's having. There's a couple of crosses that didn't go in. We lost the game. I think we lost the game 1-0 to Ireland. Is it
I played in the game. Is that away from home?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played, yeah.
And I remember it really well because I had to. It was the most awkward I've ever felt, and I really, if I look back now, I would have said I don't want to do that game if he's playing. I do not want to do punditry on him because I had to explain about my own son not getting the ball into an area what he should have a couple of times. And it was.
Why would they make you?
I don't, James.
No, but we know it's.
I don't know if anyone's ever been in that position.
Yeah.
You know what? And this is why it's only afterwards. And as I was doing it, I wish I had the management team I have around me now. I'd have probably dealt with it a lot better. But I was very emotional, and it was very. You know what, James? I look back at it. I was disappointed in myself. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I was right. I didn't know if I was wrong. I suppose if there was a lot more social media around now, it would have gone to another place. But I remember there was one thing I said on there was, because we lost to Ireland, I actually said I haven't got anything else to say. But the fact is that I was in such a weird place, having to do punditry on my own son, you know, which was something that I'm glad I didn't ever have to do again.
That's bad presenting, first of all, and it's bad punditry from your colleagues. I think, because, you know, you're a team, you've got to look after each other, and it takes nothing to look stupid on live TV. And there's no way back.
Tell me about it.
Because it's out there.
That's what I was going to say with James, because you was quite pleased, James, like with Aaron Ramsdale's dad when he came back. Because as well as, the thing is, James, because you can totally understand.
Oh, yeah. And when people, you know, listen, the line of work that we're in, we have to give opinions. Sometimes they're strong. Sometimes you try and look after someone a little bit.
Give
Sometimes
context,
you have
James,
to...
so the people who don't know, with Aaron Ramsdale.
So with Aaron Ramsdale, I mean, at the time, he was a bit of a fan's favourite last season for Arsenal fans. And then Mikel Arteta took a really brave decision as a manager, bringing another goalkeeper in. Probably going to get a little bit of, you know, backlash from the Arsenal fans, but I felt it was the right decision. I felt if Arsenal wanted to move on as a team and take the next step to win in the Premier League, it was the right decision. And his dad came out and was critical of me. And you know what? I loved it. Because I was sitting there thinking, that's what I'd do.
Yeah.
That's what if someone said something about my son, even though I'm a pundit and I've said something about plenty of players and managers, wherever it may be, I actually admired it and had absolutely no problem with any parent, you know, coming out and defending their son, because that's families, you know, it's your life.
You know what I loved about that, James, is that you didn't go back again. Like,
no.
Because you know something, again, like we're talking about our sons and what it means to us. And I know for a fact, James, I'm coming as well. I would do what Mr. Ramsdale done as well, simply because it's your flesh and blood, man. You know what I mean?
Well, guys, listen, the two of yous have got sons, obviously, who've both won the Premier League. Wow. I mean, I would absolutely dream and love to see my son lift the Premier League one day. But I mean, what was that like? I mean, watching that.
You know what, James? It was again, you know, watching Sean. Like I say, when he was a young guy, how small he was, thinking it wasn't going to happen. For him to then not only go on to play for City and do brilliantly, go to Chelsea and win the Premier League, you know, it's very difficult to try and explain. And the same with Bradley. You know, Bradley, you know, he left there, went to America and scored some amazing goals, won the boot there, record goal scorer and that in New York and that. But to win the Premier League, you know, especially with everything what you've got to do, with all that journey what he's had with his dad playing, his dad ended up, you know, unfortunately being able to do it yourself. But like for him to do it, James, it felt better for me.
Yeah.
It just, you know what I mean? Because like I say, I never, watching Sean play and watching Bradley play and, you know what I mean? Even when I went and watched my grandson play when he's at Stoke and that, you know, watching them play, it's not a nice thing. It's not an easy thing. So to see them go and play, then to see them go and play for England, you know, and everything what's happened with him at England, you know, watch him score his first goal for England. I still feel that him winning the Premier League, for me, I felt like I'd done it.
Yeah.
I felt like I'd done it for, you know what I mean, because I was so proud. His one meant more to the family than me doing it for me because of his journey and how he had to come through. I can't even explain how great it is. You know, he loves telling me that he played 3 more games for England than me, which is fine. I mean, I've got the, you know what I mean, I've got the Premier League like you, but I'm so happy for him. I'm just happy for him. And then, you know, you say that, I think we probably have to say with the Leicester story, like Pete and Casper, it could arguably be one of the greatest stories.
The last game is Everton at home. They've already won. They know they're going to be presented with a trophy.
I was on the pitch with you. I'm sure we were on the pitch. We were working together.
So they can have 4 people on the pitch, each player. So with 10 minutes to go, we're then going from where we are, and we have to wait inside the stadium to get out onto the pitch. But they're not allowing us out on the pitch before the game's ended, right? So by the time I leave my place, Leicester were 3-0 up. So we get to the pitch, the game is like this, and Casper's angry, really angry, you know? I mean, they're winning the Premier League, they're going to get the trophy that day. And I'm like, what's wrong? And it turns out that he'd conceded a goal in that 10 minutes period that we were in there, and he hadn't won the Golden Glove.
Right.
And that was, on that day, the first moment of pride for me, because I knew then that the hunger for winning, to continue doing what you've done, not to, say, oh, we've done this, and then sit back and relax. I saw that in every player that I played with for Man United. I saw that in their eyes. So I was really, really proud there. And then, of course, on the pitch, when he lifted that trophy. That, for me, is still the best moment in my football life.
Wow.
I love that moment.
It superseded all of yours.
I talk about this in my book, my pride and all of this, that sometimes, and especially when I left Man United, made me take stupid decisions because I wanted to be this big, impregnable person that you couldn't beat me out.
Yes.
I was like that. And so when I was in that situation, I was, but we're supposed to do this,
Yes, yes.
Of course, very happy and all that. But there, I had all the emotions coming to me. Everything I've done myself for those situations, it just came to me there, and it was such a big moment for me. And it was just unbelievable.
So unbelievable.
So, guys, I want to talk about the Euros, how we think it'll go, Kasper's going. I mean, what are your thoughts on the summer, Righty?
I feel really good about us, James, simply because I feel like we've got a lot of good offensive players on form. Obviously, I feel defensively is where we're probably centre-half area, is where we might, I don't know what he's going to do, how he's going to configure that. But from an offensive point of view, James, we've got to be going in there as one of the teams that are one of the favourites to do well there. We have to be. If we're not, then you're looking at the players, what we've got who are performing unbelievably at the moment. You look at Harry Kane. Look at Harry Kane's done in. You look at Jude Bellingham, Phil Foden. When you're looking at these players, what they're doing. Declan Rice this season. You have to, if you're an England fan and you're not feeling a little bit confident about doing something, then that's just being negative.
Peter, what do you think? Obviously, you hear a lot, you do the punditry work, but sort of from a Denmark point of view, I think
we're in the same
in the group.
Yes.
But I mean, in terms of a lot of people in England thinking we've got a great chance of winning it, do you see that as an outsider, or
No,
that's just us getting emotional?
I do. I mean, obviously, for all the reasons you just said there, I think you have a great chance. I think there are other teams in there. I think I look at Portugal. I always look at Belgium for some reason.
You have to look at France.
You look at France. You look at Germany. At home.
Germany got a very
Germany
good
at
side.
home. You look at
They
Spain.
get going.
I mean, it is a really, really strong field.
We'll see how it goes, eh?
But it's Euros are.
It's Euros, bro.
It's strong.
We've seen teams come off the beach and win it.
We have, and it's possible.
And that's a good place to finish. So, that is an Overlap Gillette Labs special for Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to every father out there. And come on, England!
Yes.
And Denmark.
And Denmark.